Hello and welcome back. Our next student is Youngchae Jeong. Youngchae Jeong is a bassist from Seoul, South Korea. He graduated with a bachelor's degree from Berklee College of Music, completing the Berklee Global Jazz Institute's undergraduate program in 2018. Jeong hopes to use his music as a vehicle for people to escape from hardships. He has shared the stage with Ralph Peterson Jr., Neil Smith, and Darren Barrett, and has performed at Dizzy's Club Coca-Cola, Smalls, Scholars, and Regatta Bar. Youngchae's committee members are Professor of Voice Peter Eldridge and Professor Susan Hagen. His advisor is Assistant Professor Farai Malik. Please welcome to the stage Youngchae Jeong.
Thanks, Alexandra, for the kind introduction. Hello, my name is Youngchae Jeong. I'm from Seoul, South Korea. First, thank you so much for being here for my final presentation. I'm so grateful to see everyone who helped me share the music that I have been working on during my studies at Berklee Global Jazz Institute. The title of my project is Imagination of Magic Land. First, I would like to share Pablo Picasso's quote. Pablo Picasso said, "Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once he grows up." This quote resonated with me deeply as I believe developing our power of creativity is the key to keeping ourselves as an artist. So this project started with this little lady on the screen holding a painting of a rainbow cat who happens to be my daughter. Her name is Hyunso. She recently turned 7 years old and she is very proud of it. When she was around 4 years old, she started to talk about visiting Magic Land in her imagination. She spoke about Lalaya, a fantastic singer and superstar, unicorns and rainbow cats, tiny guys, the troublemakers in Magic Land, and the lovely warm weather in Magic Land. These elements of her imagination became the inspiration of the musical suite I created for my project. The more she talked about her Magic Land with excitement and huge smiles, the more I was curious about Magic Land. So I asked about the many different things in Magic Land, and whenever I asked about the place, she created the story on the spot. It kept building her storyline. Her imagination kept expanding limitlessly, and she did not hesitate to make and expand stories. Throughout our daily conversation, my daughter also reminded me that I had forgotten my imaginary friend beyond the mirror when I was her age. My purpose for this project is to observe children's imagination as a composer and encourage them to develop their creativity with limitless imagination. And like my daughter reminded me about my childhood, I would like to remind others that we also had a moment when we had limitless imagination. However, we, myself included, go through the competitive system of adult society. Our thoughts and daily conversation with others often leads to the harsh realities of career, money, and judgment, which is the opposite of my daughter's view of the world of endless possibilities. By capturing my daughter's imagination, I hope this music reminds other people of what we dreamed of when we were children and brings them smile and joy. I also encourage you to have a childlike imagination in life with creativity. Creativity is important for several reasons. It provides an opportunity to fail and find innovative solutions to problems. Additionally, it helps improve communication skills. For example, when I asked my daughter about Magic Land, she used her creativity to effectively communicate her knowledge about it to me. Creativity also enabled individuals to adapt to change. For instance, when I performed the third movement of the Magic Land suite titled Tiny Guys at the BGA Festival in April, my daughter suggested that the arrangement needed more rhythms to properly capture the essence of Tiny Guys. And she's keep adding more details to the piece. And furthermore, creativity fosters self-confidence and self-esteem. Through expressing herself in this story of Magic Land, my daughter practiced and developing these qualities. Studies also has shown that creativity stimulates the production of dopamine and endorphin, while reducing stresses and anxiety. Therefore, cultivating creativity from early education through college can be beneficial for individuals and in their future professions. I composed the Magic Land Suite for piano trio with string quartet and bağlama, a traditional Turkish stringed instrument. The bağlama adds a unique and vibrant sound to the composition, enhancing the magical and whimsical atmosphere of Magic Land. It consists of 4 movements, and I exhibit this movement with my daughter's vivid narrative and combining storytelling element in music, such as Peter and the Wolf, composed by Sergei Prokofiev in 1936. Magic Land in January is a song that will introduce the scene in Magic Land. Here are 2 paintings by my daughter on the right and my wife in the middle. My daughter mentioned that Magic Land in January is always warm and comfortable, opposite to the brutal Boston weather in wintertime. It has purple grass, a pink sky, teal sun, and blue trees. Also, the sky has glitter and rainbow sprinkles. Here's the music. Thank you. The second movement is Unicorns and Rainbow Cats. This painting is by my daughter. Each cat has its color, but when they get together, they form rainbow groups of cats. And I composed this piece in 3/4 with the dance element of waltz, implying 6/8 feel, stating the complex melody but reserved toward the end like animals' friendship in Magic Land. Thank you. And third movement is my daughter's favorite piece called Tiny Guys, also my favorite. It's Troublemakers in Magic Land. When my daughter's room was messy, I asked her why it was so messy, and she immediately complained to the Tiny Guys, and I also complained to Tiny Guys and kindly asked my daughter to clean the room. And Tiny Guys are really like good figure to blame at the same time together. So when I composed this movement, I used the lesson from Maestro Danilo Perez. He suggests I write an idea using an image, adjective, or verb about how the piece will sound with the rehearsal mark or structure. So I made an initial sketch of the Tiny Guys. So I thought about the footsteps of Tiny Guys and put a word like pizzicato, randomness, high pitches, and slowly increasing intensity leads to the climax where they start their action and make a mess in Hyunse's room. And after all that, they go back to Magic Land. Thank you. Before I want to move on to the last piece, I also want to show how the musicians played at the beginning of the third movement by Formas Quartet, whom I was pleased to work with on this project. And lastly, the first movement is Lalaya. Lalaya is the reason my daughter went to the Magic Land. In this piece, I imagine my daughter and Lalaya singing and flying together in different different shapes of hills, like in this 4-bar motif here. And I hope you hear about the various types of hills and mountains in this movement. Thank you so much. So for my future plan, with this project, I want to create a songwriting workshop for children ages 6 to 11 to enhance their creativity with music. Also, this CE project was my first time writing for string quartet and leading my band for the first time since I play music. And it was really challenging, but it was so rewarding. And I will expand my writing skills for commission work for TV, movies, and documentaries with the storytelling element in music. And I would like to tell my stories with my band. And Wayne Shorter says that he learned from Art Blakey to think of musical narrative as an act of collective storytelling. He mentioned that Art Blakey would sit behind the drum kit and say, "Tell me that story." From Art Blakey's advice, I want to talk more about the story that I want to share with an audience. Also, I want to perform this Magic Dance Suite in music venues and public libraries, and I hope to perform this music for children in collaboration with the narrator and illustrator to perform together. Here is some credit for the musicians who made everything, made it possible to be alive. And thank you so much for everybody who play here. And worksite for the creativity. And thank you so much for my wife So-young and my daughter Hyun-so and Hyuna, and my mother, my dad in Korea, and my father and my mother-in-law in Korea, and all my families in Korea. And special thanks to director Danilo Perez and Marco Pigataro. And this program really helps me to shape me as an artist, and I really, really appreciate your support. And my advisor Farai Malek through the process, like since last April, and thank you so much. And my teacher Susan, my panelist and also teacher Susan Hagen and Peter LG, thank you so much for being here. It means world to me. And my faculty member Linda Meaho, John Patitucci, Ben Street, Bruno, and Patricia Perez, Chase Morin, and Nadia Washington, thank you so much. And all the BGI staff and my friends in BGI, and voice department at Berklee, and I really thank you for the support all these years. And yeah, thank you so much for everybody who helped me this.
Ooh, yeah. Wonderful, Youngchae. Wonderful, wonderful. And we're going to start the second part of the presentation. And I welcome Professor Susan Hagen with the first comment or questions.
First of all, congratulations, Youngchae.
Thank you, Susan.
I'm so proud. You've done a lot of work. I love this program. I'm really excited about your project because I don't know of another project or program quite like it. I feel like it can be brought to schools, libraries, town halls. There's actually a national park up in Maine, in Acadia National Park, that has a location that does workshops with children. And I think this would be great for it. Even businesses. I do this workshop for businesses where the leaders, the presidents of big companies come, and as an orchestra player, we have a small orchestra and we talk about leadership and group dynamics, and it's very sterile, it's very businesslike. This would be such a wonderful addition to that, to show all of these high-powered business people how to tap into their creativity, and to remember that we all do have imaginations. And like you said, we talked about before, I had imaginary friends. I'm sure everyone in this room at some point had great imagination, and I actually think everyone in this room still has it. But I think it's so wonderful. You can bring this anywhere that there are people, and you can let the people see your daughter and your wife's paintings while listening to the music. You have it set up so that we can hear the recording. If you're in a space that can't hold the group, you can play it in a group. My town library does concerts. You could do a performance of the music and have people do, you know how they have sip and paint nights at restaurants? Yeah. You could do that in libraries and have people paint or draw while you're performing. I mean, I think this has endless opportunities of ways to remind us all how to be creative, because I think then that seeps into all of the things we do in our day. I loved the music you wrote. I thought it was beautiful. I thought that everyone played beautifully, but I also thought it was nice. You played enough of each movement for us to really get an idea of it, but leave us wanting more. I want to hear the whole thing. So, and I'm happy, of course, to hear music that features the beautiful instrument that we play, so that people can hear it and fall in love with its gorgeousness and its versatility. That's me being completely biased. But you sounded great. But I think this program, the project is super exciting, and I think there's a lot of opportunity to bring it places and get some traction for this. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
I think it's great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Susan. Professor Peter Eldridge.
Hi, congratulations.
Thank you, Peter.
I know you as this wonderfully sympathetic musician, from the classes you've played for me over the years, for, a number of years now, right? And it's just been I just always feel so lucky that I get to have you in my classes. I've always felt that way. And you're kind of this quiet lion, you just you're there and you're very focused and you want to bring out the best in whoever is part of the experience. And I've always just really appreciated that. I guess I was just, this is lovely to go along with what everyone is saying. I was just wondering, and you clarified it, this is a lot of firsts for you, as a band leader, composer, and I'd just be curious what felt the most natural to you, and maybe what felt the most like, wow, I'm gonna still work to develop that even more.
The most natural part is writing music. And I really enjoyed the process of expanding the form. So before this program, I just used to write like a paper of lead sheet music and play through head, solo, and head out, kind of typical way that I used to play. But this program really helps me like expanding the arrangement and then putting a lot of like storytelling element in arrangement. So, and I want to do more, and it feels natural for me to do more. And the hardest part for me, as you mentioned that you said I'm a quiet lion, I guess I am, because I do a lot of sideman work since I play bass for 16 years now. And it's just too easy, just sit and then play and then observing what the band leader wants to have so that they don't have to work that much hard for bass when it comes to the bass part. But when I was on the other driver's side, and when I try to read my band, wow, it was totally different word. Like, first of all, educating, like, I don't want to say educating, but guiding my music, how the music sound like in the end, and how I need to encourage the players to play, to have my imagination, and grabbing attention from each other. So there were a lot of moments I want to play, I want to start to rehearse, but I didn't know what to say because I feel like I'm a really bad person to cut all the good time with the players. And these are the things I'm still working on, and also like I'm forming myself what kind of band leader I am. Like, am I a quiet band leader, or am I a fun band leader, or am I a like annoying band leader? So
I don't think you're going to be an annoying band leader.
Thank you. So still in the process, but I'm having a great time. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the question.
Really lovely.
Thank you, Peter. And now Professor Farai Malek.
Congratulations, Youngchae. It's been so beautiful to watch you develop this project from the stages from last April when you were first told me about it to now. It's been wonderful to watch the development. I can't wait to see how you develop your series of workshops. I agree that the 6 to 11 age range is great. I think it would be great for middle school, high schoolers as well. Because at middle school, that's kind of that age where you start to become really maybe a little self-conscious or really hyper aware of the people and things around you. And I think that giving students at that age the space to expand and develop and practice their creativity is great as well. And then I agree with Professor Hagen as well, for adults going into these maybe businesses and doing workshops for adults as well to expand their creativity and imagination. So I think there's just endless possibilities for workshops here. I also think interdisciplinary work and collaboration with visual artists, painters, dancers, poets even, I think you could expand this into something like a big, beautiful production. I think your research is compelling as well. I think that when you pitch this to schools and different programs, adding that research element is really, really compelling. So congratulations on that. Speaking to your daughter yesterday, she mentioned adding guitar to Lalaya. I agree. I think that would be really nice. So I think you might want to consider that. But congratulations is just excellent. And it's been awesome working with you this year.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Can't wait to see more.
Thank you, Farai. Youngchae, I'm going to start on a personal note again. This morning, all these alumni, so I feel particularly inspired. But I remember when there's something different in your case because you were a global and a Berklee before COVID, correct? And then you came back. So there was a big window of years where you were not, in the program or in the school, right? And I remember at the beginning of the semester, we had this conversation at Tate, and you were comparing, Danilo and myself before COVID and after COVID, and like the program is like, so what's the main difference? Like, you guys are so much less strict now. Like and that was like you guys were more strict before, like, well, we're getting older, of course.
Or fine wine. Right?
Or fine wine. And so on the wing of that conversation, I'm also want to start where I compare you from before and now. And it's really a two different person where back then you almost still felt like a tourist, in the program, a tourist in the music. And now you came back this year and there's so much joy in you and there is so much of your gentle soul really shining in a way where now the presence is palpable in the most beautiful way, which permeates your music, I have to say. And so in terms of what you just presented, this is a very special project to me. Because of two reasons, your emphasis on creativity, and as you know, we talk about this a lot in the pedagogy class because, we talk about the British author Ken Robinson and his tech talk. That school kills creativity, and he contends that we actually are educated out of creativity. And you started with the Pablo Picasso's quote, which exactly in a different way is the same message. And so this idea that we have a school system that takes out creativity out of the kids, right? And so I totally agree with Farai. These workshops are much more needed as, older kids, to reconnect with something they naturally had. And funny enough, I just saw a study that basically now, this is not just Ken Robinson's opinion, it's actually there's a data that shows how kids come in with an amount of creativity, and after 10 years, this creativity is like cutting more than half. And it's just really the system that we create as, educators. So think about that and what you could do, because this is such an important part of your message. Now, the second thing that is special to me is the fact that this is inspired by your daughter. And as a musician and as the father of, precious Down syndrome daughter, it is not lost on me that the love for your daughter deeply permeates every note of your music in this project. I mean, I can feel it. It's so present and it's so beautiful. And these are the things that you cannot put in a musical analysis. But having said that, can you talk a little bit more about the music from a point of view as your process, compositional process for this particular composition we heard?
So like I composed the music, the first piece, the Magic Land Suite, like Magic Land in January, and I composed. So I was like one of the days I was kind of noodling to find the inspiration for my project, of course, also the composition, and I was playing the C major chord and then moving around G, like sharpening and flattening to finding what sound I like to find it. And my daughter all of a sudden just came and then sing the melody right next to me. And she was putting a lot of like syncopations and comfortable melody, like just stating in third in C major. And that just resonated with me, and that opens the door to create the whole different ideas. So I create the melody first, and then I put and this is a really great lesson from Maestro Danilo Perez, also Ben Street. So one of the lessons I had, Ben Street also suggested me that just play the bass line. Doesn't need to be the right changes for the moment, just follow the melody. So I just play the melody and let the melody be what the sound like, and I keep finding a bass note. And I was able to find the bass note, and I was formulating inside the voicings. And yeah, I just wanted to create some like comfortable movement following like smooth guide or voicings inside. So I create a voicing in different chart. I can give you later. But so that's why the piece sound like more lineage to the end. And then the other piece, I already mentioned the tiny guys, so I think this should be good. And then Unicorns and Rainbow Cat, I put the two different parts, and so this like 5 bars figure or 4 bars figure with E minor, D sus4, C major 7, C major 7 sharp 9. So I created as kind of like a storytelling element as a kind of unicorns and playing with La Laya, and I was playing around it. And the reason I put the minor, some people will say minor is always sad, but for me, minor doesn't sound like sad. It's comfortable for me. And I stay in E minor just to create the unicorns in movement, and I play the bass line as a kind of father figure and playing with unicorns in the story. And I was moving on to the main melody, like stating like different rainbow cats. So basically, like try to put more storytelling in the melody and then harmony throughout the piece. So I
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Marco.
Maestro Danilo.
Congratulations, Youngchae. Wow. Very proud of you. Very proud of you. And you also demonstrated the power of fantasy as an artist to live in the world of trying to write and play music the way you want the world to be like. And through the eyes of your daughter, which I feel opened the door for some emotion that are so unique about us human, which is gratitude. The gratitude is the door, I think, to greatness. And that relationship, that feeling that you have with your daughter, it started to connect you with the idea of finding a language to express those emotions. And you made it very clear in this project. You can feel it, like you're making choices. It's a 6, it's a major third because it's the emotion, it's a minor. Wayne used to tell me, can you make a minor chord sounds major? And you are already tapping into all those questions because you are worried about the world that you're going to live and the world that your daughter is going to live on. So it's amazing how you are connecting in these deep emotions and using be a tool to represent the best of humanity, which is our biggest challenge. Congratulations for that. Because those are emotions that come from within, and we all have it. We just have to be sensible to. The storytelling on it is fantastic. You know, the way you there's a certain quality to your music that keeps this film scoring for this type of narrative. And I would recommend to make a portfolio and send it to Walt Disney, send it to people that like people that are making those kind of movies for children, like Coco and stuff like that. You know, I can picture you in a position of being a collaborator and things like that. So find the network of people. You know, I keep my eyes open to see if I know anybody to connect you, because what you are developing is not just like something you like, it's something that you feel, and it triggered the essence of jazz, which is imagination. Family concerts, I would actually develop on that idea that she, you know, incorporating workshops in the afternoon and in the concert at night, or also concert with in the middle you do talk, and maybe do start recording, you know, something I did. I might work for you too. I started with my kids making videos from early on, and go back to see. You might have, you know, like I have a piece that started with a fifth, and now it's developing to a three, like almost like a symphony, because I'm keep writing when she's growing up. So you might, by the time she's 20, you might have a whole symphony. So keep at it. It's a beautiful connection that you have. It's a beautiful interest that you've developed. Your bass playing has grown so much for me since I know you, since I met you the first time. And I'm very proud of what you're doing, and I just wish you all the best. And I want to say, helping children navigate the complexity of growing up. That's very crucial for us in these times. By integrating music into your daily life, we can foster a well-rounded, emotionally resilience. We need a lot of resilience in this moment. We also need to give new meaning to the word hope. And cultural enriched generation is our duty. And thank you for taking the challenge and starting from your own perspective of your family, to protect your family, to enrich your family, and have the dream to affect others in the same way that we need it greatly in these times. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Please give another round of applause to Youngchae.
Thanks everyone. Thank you so much.